Hello, everybody. My name is Kamar, and today we will be reviewing our penultimate episode of Season 3 of The Backyardigans. Season 3, Episode 19, The Two Musketeers. In this episode, Pablo and Tyrone are the two musketeers. They fight against the Empress, whose guards, Unico and Austin, persuade them. A masked lady, Tasha, hopes to become the third musketeer, but Tyrone and Pablo refuse to let her join. Later, the musketeers are locked by the guards and thrown into the palace prison, where Tasha is the only person who can break them out. Now, this episode, there's some, it's hard to say because there's some moments where I just love the characters and some moments where I'm like, oh my god, that was so funny, like with certain characters, and then there's some moments I'm like, dude, that's going too far. Okay, I'm gonna just talk about my problems because it's not with the plot itself, it's just with the characters. I mean, first off, Tyrone and Pablo. I mean, I love them in the beginning. They're cute little balloon animals. They're cute little French language. I love it. But when it comes to the Empress, dude, that goes too far. I myself, to me, to this day, I feel like the song "We Don't Care for the Empress" is just a whole anthem for Tasha haters, because they say a lot of bad things about the Empress, aka Tasha, when she's like right in front of them, and her face just, especially the part of the song where she's like, maybe the Empress is misunderstood, maybe she just needs some friends, maybe she's lonely, and still they don't care for the Empress, all because of a balloon. Like, I have no problem with the balloon concept, but there's a lot of problems I have with Uniqua and Austin. Also, I like Austin some moments where he tries to be serious with Uniqua, and then there's some moments here they're like, wow, how did you do that? Especially when Uniqua finally arrests Pablo and Tyrone, and then Austin's like, sorry, and then Unique's like, what did you say? And then he switches up so quickly. It's funny, but it's kind of sad because like I'm getting season 1 flashbacks from Austin all over again. Like, I'm getting season 1 flashbacks. Like, I swear. And Tasha, the song she sang, number 3, like, I feel like that song is so Disney princess coded. Like Moana, who else? What's another princess that seeks adventure? Rapunzel. I feel like those certain princesses who like are tired of like being in the castle all day, just they want to seek adventure. They're not all just about royalty. They just want to go out and not only have fun, but do something, Even in the song, Tasha says that she wants to be something resourceful instead of just being up in a palace. You're just being cooped up in a palace, which is so Disney princess coded. And back to Tyrone and Pablo. Like, it's like they sometimes make me mad because some moments they're like, oh yeah, we have great manners, but then they're just saying all these bad things about Tasha. Like, I feel like Pablo and Tyrone were being so Tasha haters coded. And that's not what I like to see, I know it's just a part of the adventure, but still, all of this comes with just a balloon. I feel like it should have been something more. I can't think of anything, but that's just me, And my main reason to this day is, why did they have to arrest the Pablo and Tyrone? What did they do? What did they do that was bad? Something's telling me to say maybe it's because of their back talking about the Empress. But I don't know if that's the case, because they don't say all that stuff when the Empress guards aren't around. But that's just me. I don't know. Just what could they be getting arrested for? Besides them, doing all that, They have good manners most of the time. They make cute balloon animals. Not tell me why my girl Tasha. Tell me why she made a unicorn. Was that towards me? Because I love unicorns. And I still think they're real. But anyway, just I can't think of why they could be arrested. I can't think of anything. But the star of the show, Tasha. I love Tasha so much in this one. I really, really do. I do. Like I said before, in this one, she was queen of the quick change so quickly. She was. Just changing into makeup right on the spot. She didn't have to put no makeup on. She was like, she already had it on. Like, that's my queen of the quick change right there. That is. And like I said in my review of A Giant Problem, you would think it would be the other way around. It would be Uniqua playing this part. And I guess maybe Tasha playing the Empress Guards, but no. No. My girl, she did a whole 360. My girl did a whole freaking 360, and I support that. I do. And to me, and this episode actually got me introduced to Stereotypes because, I'm pretty sure all of us went through this phase when we were young kids. We saw an opposite gender playing a certain game that when we went to go ask, can we play with them? We would either get A, from the same gender you was, isn't that a boy's game, or isn't that a girl's game? And B, another answer we would get for the opposite gender when we would ask to play would be, no way, this is a boy's game. You're a girl. You can't play with us. And I feel like Tasha was really embedding that message. I know it's not that deep into the plot, but to me it is, I mean, obviously, we have two different types of girls in this friend group. Like, I'm going to take it back to season 1. Like, let's pretend that season 2, season 3, season 4 didn't exist right now, okay? Let's just talk season 1 standards. When we first got introduced to the characters, obviously we had the boys. But the girls, obviously we had the tomboy, okay? Who was pink, obviously. But even though she was a tomboy, Uniqua, she still was girly on the side. But any role that she played from here on out until the end of the series, it could be anything, like any boy, And she's not a tomboy because she hangs out with mostly boys, or like there's more boys in the group, aka, when she's in the trio with Pablo and Tyrone. She acts like a tomboy because that's what makes her feel comfortable in her skin, because that's how she chooses to play. And then Tasha, we're talking about season 1 Tasha. Before, she started really experimenting with her characters, we only knew her as this character who used to be girly, who used to be a bit bossy, who hated getting dirty, But later on, she expanded herself. She's not only just known for playing just a girly character. I mean, sometimes she is, but we see her playing more, more characters that aren't just about being pretty, that can get a little bit dirty, So, leading into the stereotypes, I feel like this episode with Pablo Tyrone and Tasha could be a sign, as a metaphoric sign of stereotypes, I feel like on that day that was having that adventure, I just feel like Tasha was like, I mean, obviously, I don't know if they like cast the adventures, I don't know, but maybe she casted herself as the Empress, and then she saw how much fun Tyrone and Pablo were being as Musketeers, and then she must have been like, being a musketeer could be fun. Maybe I could do both. And if that were the case, that could show you that girls and boys, Tasha right here is the main example in this episode that girls can still play girly games while still playing boy games. I mean, come on. I mean, even though she's not as tomboyish as Uniqua, we can all say that. I still feel like towards the end of season 2, within season 3, maybe she's been seeing more of Uniqua. What I mean is, maybe from the start, she's been noticing Uniqua playing all these characters that aren't always girly. And who knows, maybe season 1 took place when they were like very, very younger. You know? When like, you know how girls are when they're like little girls when they're very, very young. They go through that phase. They just want to be pretty. They don't want to be dirty. They go through a really girly phase. And obviously, like me and my friend, we both discussed this. Like the Backyardigans, even though we don't see them age physically, we see them age mentally. Like we see their maturity growing. We see them more expanding. We see them getting older. Like, for example, Tyrone and Austin. But in season 1, we both seen them as very shy characters. But now later on, we're seeing them as characters who are not as scared anymore, not as shy, who sometimes have their moments because they're getting older. Even though we don't see them getting older by age, well, I mean, if you can cause scared of you because Austin's birthday, we still see them getting older, you know? So even though I have a handful of problems with this episode, I feel like Tasha was really embedding the message on stereotypes. I've always seen that as a young girl, you know? I've too went through this phase, but sadly, where I come from, when I don't mean to get too deep into this, but I've actually tried to do this, but it didn't really work out because where I come from, when girls try to play with boys, it doesn't end really well. I'm just going to say it ends pretty physically, but that's all I'm going to say. So overall, I love the music. The characters had their moments I didn't really like, but Tasha stole the show for me. She really did. She did. And for that, I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a 7, you know? As our penultimate episode of this season, it wasn't great, nor was it bad. It was good. It was okay. I feel like if we didn't have Tasha and her moments, this episode wouldn't be nearly as good without her. So, this episode is getting a 7. So, you know what that means. We only have one more episode left of our 3rd season. One more. We're finally down to the end. And, as I will say, for our very last time in this season, tune in to me next time as we will be reviewing our last episode of Season 3, Episode 20, The Masked Retriever. See you all next time.